It's about Medicue. Let's start. 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's the average wait time for patients in Ontario. And I'll let you think if that's honestly a reasonable amount of time for me to be waiting for something that's essentially a basic need. And that's only for the first assessment. Total wait times in hospitals is a completely different story. But with Medicue, we're focusing on the time it takes from when you get to the hospital till you get your first assessment. What is Medicue? Medicue is essentially a tool to help reduce wait time in hospitals by means of better organization and utilizing already available healthcare resources more efficiently. We'll briefly go over how it works later in the pitch. Why do we care? Well, there's a bunch of reasons to care about this specific issue, but what really drives me is when I think about myself or my loved ones waiting in one of those boring hospital rooms with nothing but a clock, just counting down the minutes that you've been there, and you have no information, no estimate on how much time it's going to take. So what we aim to do with Medicue is help improve that process, keep you informed every step of the way, give you an estimate of how much time really is left between you getting your checkup. Why Medicue? Why choose us? Similar questions often arise whenever a new product's introduced. We answer those questions by pointing to the fact that Medicue uses over 300 studies to determine bottlenecks for wait times at hospitals and thousands of case studies to provide an accurate estimate for your specific wait time. And Medicue was developed using direct feedback from professionals like doctors and, more importantly, nurses from the ER. Doing so ensures that our operation runs as smooth as it can, because the feedback from these professionals is invaluable. Everyone wins when you reduce wait times. No one wants to be waiting at a hospital. Where does Medicue come in? All right, a study by Global News found that 1 in almost 4 beds, nearly 25% of spaces in the ER are occupied by non-urgent patients. So what Medicue aims to do with these non-urgent patients is before they even leave their houses, we recommend that they go to an outpatient center or a family physician or something like that, because most of the time all they really need is a non-prescription drug, and taking up space in the ER, they're potentially taking someone else who needs that care, who needs that intensive care that only a hospital can provide. Similarly, in Australia, a kind of system similar to this, where patients are recommended to go to outpatient centers or family physicians, is already in place, and it reduces congestion in ERs or emergency rooms by 40%. So we already know that this is an effective method of increasing medical efficiency. All right, so the process. The process is pretty simple. It's a 3-step process. The first step, we call it self-triage, is basically where the patient enters their symptoms and ailments into Medicue, which then processes the data for step 2, in which it gives a list of nearby hospitals or outpatient centers, depending on what the patient's self-triage was. If they're non-urgent, it'll mostly recommend going to an outpatient center instead of a hospital. And based on what the patient chooses, Medicue will do 2 things. First, it'll give information to the patient. The patient gets the distance or time it takes to get to the hospital, and then waiting time at that current hospital or outpatient center. And if the patient, whatever the patient chooses, an ER or an outpatient center, what they get is the self-triage done by the patient. And if the patient has previously been on Medicue and has his visits to the ER or outpatient centers documented, they will be getting a history of that as well. So goals. What is Medicue's goals? We have 3 simple goals: reduce traffic, reduce wait times, and decrease patient buildup. We reduce traffic in hospitals by utilizing outpatient centers, and we reduce wait times in ER by pre-organizing patient data. And we decrease patient buildup in the ERs by identifying non-urgent cases and recommending that they go to an outpatient center or a family physician instead. Here we have a fun little image where non-urgent care patients are being transferred from a hospital to an outpatient center. Thank you.